The Girl Project is an arts meets activism initiative that we started here in Lexington, Kentucky in 2013. And the project at its core focuses on the misrepresentation of females in the media and what effect this has on teenage girls and women in general. Last year we invited guest artists from around the United States to work with our girls, and these guest artists focused on themes like power, identity, sexuality, and through the workshops that these artists led, we created an original performance piece with the girls and their writing that they had done with these guest artists. And we used different mediums to translate those stories to the stage, like poetry, spoken word, movement, multimedia, dance.
For me, the Girl Project was inspired by many years of struggle to meet society's expectations of me as a female. Not just me personally, but I started watching my daughter from a very early age experience the same type of struggles that I was experiencing. I've spent most of my professional career working with young people, working with them to use theater as a catalyst to express themselves. So I was really inspired by that, but also by a friend of mine and Girl Project guest artist, Laura Wilson. She's a dance therapist, and I was inspired by her work as a dance and movement therapist and what she was able to do with her art to transform lives. And I'd been contemplating for a while how I could address these issues that teen girls and all women face every day through my art form, which is theater, and really use my art to transform the lives of young girls. After contemplating this for some time, I moved to Lexington, Kentucky, and I met Ellie.
Well, Vanessa and I's first conversation inspired the project and life really in general. As I get older, I realize how interrelated everything is, how my grandmother affected my mother, how my mother affects me, and how sexism and oppression has really affected us all. It's glaring, and the scary thing is how quickly these messages of sexism are reaching people, you know, through iPhones, computers, Facebook, magazines, the news. It's everywhere. So the inaugural year of the project has become my greatest inspiration, because when you raise your awareness just a little bit, you see how mammoth the problems are. And when you spend a year working with teenage girls, you really see how mammoth these problems are. Like anything, when you stop ignoring it, it becomes very real. And everyone is going to have to step up at some point, men and women, because no one person can really make the change. So this project is my way of stepping up, and hopefully will inspire others to step up as well.
When we started the Girl Project, we weren't sure how it was going to unfold. We knew that the girls would have a voice and they would have something to say, but we weren't sure that our audience was going to be ready to hear it. We wanted to change the lives of the girls over the course of the year and have an impact on them and have their awareness raised, but we also wanted to raise the awareness of the audience as well. We were surprised and absolutely thrilled with how it was received.
So the point of the project is to make a shift in perspective, how the girls perceive what they see and hear on TV, on the internet, in movies, on the news, in their classrooms, even in their homes in some circumstances. And the shift can really only happen when we raise our awareness. And if they understand that the misrepresentation of females is affecting men and women in our culture tremendously, they can begin to articulate what they see and begin to shift their perspective of how they see it and what they're hearing. And it took me really experiencing the Girl Project this year and raising my own awareness to see for myself what that objectification and sexualization of women in the mainstream media is doing to us as a culture. It astonishes me, but I was ready for it, and I was making myself face it by doing this project, and we asked our girls to face it, but it's a little bit more scary when you're asking an audience to face it, because they have to be ready to hear it, and we couldn't have any guarantee that our audience was going to be really ready to hear what these girls had to say.
It being our pilot year, we weren't sure how the audience was going to take what it was that the girls had to say, so we decided after opening night to interview some of the audience members and find out how they felt about the girls' performances.
Fierce, powerful, and somewhat provocative, but in a good way.
Oh, it's dangerous. They're dangerous. Very powerful. That's very satisfactory. Very satisfying. I'm getting kind of old, and I'm happy to turn it over to the next generation, and this is making me feel much more comfortable.
Expressive, powerful, piercing diatribe. It was just so powerful, so amazing. I was moved on many levels.
I teach, and I know some of these kids, and I know I knew a little bit of what the content was going to be, and I was like, oh my God, how is this going to come out, and how is an audience going to be able to hear this? So, you know, I'm on the edge of my seat, not just for the girls, but for like the audience, and how they're going to be able to accept what they're hearing, and whether they're going to be able to actually hear it. Really, I mean, there's heightened language, and whether they can sift through that and understand that this is not just poetry, this is these girls. This is happening to these girls, a lot of the stuff that they're talking about. So.
But they really kept it entertaining the whole time. I thought it might be a series of heart-wrenching stories. I was really prepared to be emotionally worn out. But there was a good balance of showing the girls' playfulness and the joy that they had together versus the pain that obviously their hearts have experienced in their short lives so far. So it was a good balance. It surprised me.
Well, we wanted to represent the girls as best we could, and we ultimately wanted our girls to be able to find strength in sharing their vulnerability with the audience, which is a very difficult thing to do, especially at such a young age. And we wanted to help them define their individual voice. And this meant sharing the scary stuff and the sacred stuff and the stuff that's really hard to say. And we also reached out to a local writer, Elizabeth Beck, to write a personification of America with the girls. And what the girls ended up writing was very astute, no holds barred, to say the least. And we, of course, didn't want the audience to feel defensive or like they were being attacked as these girls delivered this very, very astute piece. But the girls were taking a very strong stance on some very political issues dealing with women's and human rights, and the girls did phenomenal. We asked the girls to rally the audience, to invite them to be a part of the change that needs to happen, and the questions that need to be asked, and they were so articulate and so poetic and so genuine in the delivery of their performance. The audience couldn't help but feel a call to action. It was so rewarding, and I was so proud of the girls.
I think that their call to action to America, they really were asking us as audience members, as Americans, to see what the world looks like through teenage eyes and to do something about it. So I don't know if I was as surprised as I was called to join them, to figure it out, to make the world better for them and different for them.
Barbie, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, and their close friends have become the root of all evil in this country. The icons we used to praise and take pride in have now become guilty pleasures and unspoken sins. Barbie objectifies your women. McDonald's and Coke make you fat. Levi's jeans remind you of your size, while Chuck Taylors and Abercrombie are only bought to fit in. Am I wrong, America? That stop isn't just a passing phrase, and that yes, the first time doesn't guarantee a second, and that they weren't asking for it. Why should victims and their supporters have to march with signs in the clothes that they are raped in and say, I wasn't asking for it? Rape is rape. Yes. Isn't that just common sense, America? Yes. Like 2 + 2 = 4, or the fact that George Washington was our first president.
Yes.
America. Why did Wendy Davis have to talk herself sick? Why did she spend 11 hours
fighting for my rights. What was already mine. My body, America, mine, not yours. I want some answers, America. Why do women's rights have to be fought for? Shouldn't they simply be given?
Why is it love?
Today is the day when each and every one of us can pledge allegiance to each other, regardless if it be under God. Today is the day when I can point to any third grader in you, America, and have them tell me what liberty is, and how in you, America, are where it's found on every corner, regardless of race, orientation, or suspicion. Today!
We knew that much of what the girls had to say was pretty heavy-hitting, so we felt it was important for the girls and the audience to find humor in some of the timely topics we talked about during the course of the year. We found humor in the expectations that fashion magazines hold women to, and the ridiculousness of a Victoria's Secret line of underwear called Bright Young Things, which was specifically targeted for middle school girls. We also explored when exactly it was that we stopped being little girls who found joy in pretending and playing and wearing whatever we wanted to the time when we started caring so much about our reputation and what everyone else thinks.
We had to find a way to showcase these girls' playful side. They were so quick to laugh and had so much fun. We had to find a way to share that with the audience.
Unbelievably powerful. One of the things that I think is a misconception, or that I think we often don't give teenage girls enough credit for their intelligence. And so when I see all of it come together, when I see their brilliant writing, when I see them, take the stage and just take on their princess, I'm just so moved.
Shocked by the elegance of the girls and their ability to express themselves through writing. So with some of these pieces, we really let them drive it home. And they were some complicated pieces.
I have some things to learn from you. In a world where I cake my face with makeup and try to make my hair stick straight, you stand there, content with your weight and loving the curly mop on your head. I am afraid to blossom sometimes, and am alone and scared. But your confidence explodes inside of me and tells the elastic in my head to let go! Be yourself. Love your body and know you are loved. You are the one who started all this. You are the panda at the bottom of the tree that will blossom and bloom. I wish I knew I don't have to blossom and be as beautiful as other trees because I am a gorgeous panda inside. I am a lovely creature that knows the importance of selflessness, of love, of human nature. You have a lot to teach me. You are the voice that keeps me going every day. Keep eating your bamboo and loving your fur and being confident in yourself so you can help me blossom into a beautiful tree.
You are a turtle caught in a fishing net. You hear about others getting sucked into that light, but you are careful. You pay attention. You are a good little girl. So you never think that this could happen to you. But you do get trapped in that net for 5 long years, enduring relentless pain, but it's time for it to stop. Now is the time to stop it. You do get out of that
The girls were exposed to some amazing women throughout the year, working with guest artists from all over the country, in addition to Ellie and I, and our arts advocacy director, Christy K. Birch. Each guest artist not only shared their talents with the girls, but some of them also shared their personal stories and challenges and how they overcame them. Then in turn, the girls, they would feel safe to open up about issues they were facing. Issues like bullying, eating disorders, self-mutilation, depression, and sexual abuse.
When I heard about Girl Project, when I heard about what was possible and what is so needed for girls in our community, I was instantly like, I've got to sit down with Vanessa and Ellie. I've got to talk to them and see how I might be able to help. And so I had a meeting with them, and what came out of that meeting actually was I am the director of advocacy, and I've been able to sit with the girls and create what we call a safe container. And that is a place where the girls can really be safe to be who they are. We have developed something called Girl Code, which is how it is that we want to be with one another. And really the basis of that Girl Code is let's bring our highest selves. Let's use our voices for the good. So really I always had the first hour and the second hour, the last hour actually, to just create that kind of sacred space. Create that safe space where girls can really use their voice and come into their own voice. Lacking a self-esteem and looking at yourself as being a sexualized object even when you're younger. But I think that the modern generation is bombarded with so many more images, because now it's not just about television, it's not just about magazines, it's also on the internet. I mean, you can't go anywhere without seeing images of women being sexualized, being degraded. It permeates the consciousness. So I think that the girls that are growing up today don't even know what they're being exposed to. It's the status quo. It is what is. And so I think that's definitely a difference. It's gotten a lot worse.
My wrists, pain carved into them like stories etched into a stone wall. Faint little white lines are 5-minute bathroom breaks. Bloody toilet paper. Crippling. Self-loathing whispers. You can't even go an hour without digging into yourself, without scrawling your misery across your skin. Places where the flesh doesn't feel quite right, or hysterical mornings, desperate evenings, wishing I could hate anyone! Half as much as I hate myself. The double-edged razor, an instrument used until they run out of ink. Watch the crimson red stories spill out. Decorate bodies with tattoos and piercings. I decorated with scars. 23 on my thighs, 50 on my forearm, 17 on my clavicle, 8 on my hip, 12 on my neck. How many is that? I think even I lost count.
You think it's fair, acceptable even, that someone of my status and skin color is not allowed to be sad about anything. Just a stuck-up and stupid little white girl who probably had an eating disorder, or has too much sex, because those are the only real problems a person like me could have. You look at me with my perfectly manicured nails, my too short shorts, and assume I write hateful notes in a burn book, or send spiteful text messages about some girl who stole my boyfriend, or plan these wild and crazy exclusive parties that make everyone else feel like a loser because they're at home sober. You know what they say about assumptions? It makes an ass out of you. And me. Will I ever be taken seriously anywhere but a boutique or a country club? Or will someone like me spend the rest of their life being referred to as someone's wife or someone's mother? When will you take the price tag off my mouth and start listening to what I have to say?
Some of our guest artists, like Caroline Harvey and Ellen Hagen, guided our girls to create beautiful, poetic metaphor pieces, while guest artists Sullivan Kennedy White and Pam Walsh Huggins had the girls explore movement and rhythm to explore unrealistic beauty expectations. One of our challenges as directors was taking all of this amazing work that they had worked on during the course of the year and devising a thought-provoking, entertaining, and theatrical piece while maintaining the integrity of the girls' words and what they had to say.
Yet I wake every morning with the stench of mildew haunting my nose. A fresh layer of buzz grows on my skin. My heart flutters as the mold advances and sweeps through my blood. My thoughts are sluggish, my hearing faint. I struggle to see through a shroud of fungus. A trail of spores follows my every move, and my fingers and toes are yet again damp with rot, eye and mildew and mold. It seems I will forever be the Helen Keller of fungus.
My voice? A forest. A deciduous one at that. Its clear, bright tones ring on for miles away, and I'll sing my heart out and laugh for joy. Because let me tell you, even in the coldest times, my voice is still you.
But why must you be two different sizes? You make it very difficult to style hair to wear headphones. Well, ears, you may be very annoying, but I love you. I kind of have to have you because without you I want to be able to hear. Being two different sizes just makes you all the more mine.
The real challenge in devising hard-hitting theater is to allow the audience to be quick to laugh and quick to be moved. So you get them really relaxed and then you hit them hard with the message you're trying to deliver. And we brought Donna Eisen in to write a princess piece with the girls, and we put them in these stereotypical princess outfits, and we locked them in these towers and said, you're going to start off like a Disney princess and turn into your own army by the end. And the audience was laughing hysterically, of course, through their princess interpretations, but then the girls jumped down from these towers and purged all of their anger and all of their frustrations with all the stereotypes put on them in this hardcore dance number choreographed by Jenny Fitzpatrick, who's incredible. And they marched off the stage military style in the end. And it showed the audience that they were not afraid to fight their own battles internally and externally, and that they'll do what they have to do. And the audience loved it.
We all do. All we have to do is ignore those nasty voices bringing us down. We can't think of rejection and failure. We are strong women. I know if we try, we can save our kingdoms and be whoever we want to be, whatever we want to be. We could change the world for princesses forever. We need to take back our power. I'm sorry.
I learned a lot about myself and about society in general. My awareness is raised, and I will never be the same. Watching the change in the girls' lives who were part of the project and seeing how the audience reacted, women of all ages, men, and how they responded to the project was more than what I had hoped for when we started. I'm so proud of the girls. I'm proud of their strength and their bravery and their courage.
Since Vanessa and I started this project, we've had women coming out of the woodworks to us, amazing women who have said, I have to be a part of this project, and men who have said, I have to be a part of this project. And I think people inherently know just by its title how important the project is. And with the kind of collective we're building with this community, we have the potential to change the lives of hundreds of girls, thousands of girls even. It has the potential to change all of our lives. Vanessa and I's lives have been changed, and we saw the change that happened with our girls from 2013. It was incredible. Sisterhood was not a word that I was particularly drawn to before this project began, but over the course of the last year, I realized that really is what we're creating. And the more people that get involved with the project, the bigger the effect and the change will be. It's a call to action.
I'm extremely proud of them, and I don't know that I could have done. I know I couldn't have at their age. age. So my hat's off to all of them.
So I'm really honored that the girls shared their deepest thoughts with us and didn't hold anything back. I'm really proud of all of them, and especially the ones that aren't even used to performing. Just amazed.
You rock. You are amazing. I'm so inspired by you.
Be the girls of the Girl Project. In order to form a less perfect expectation, establish respect, ensure domestic equality, provide for the common defense, promote astounding strength, and secure the blessings of natural beauty and individuality, do ordain and establish this league for the United States of America.
We are a hurricane, a storm like no one has seen before.
We are pellets of rain. We will strike the earth and turn into a river of girls.
We will sweep the streets, leaving an impact that changes the world. We will close the door on judgment of ourselves, of others.
We will not be affected by words others use to harm us.
We close the door on weakness.
From now on, we and the people around us will have the strength to carry on.
We close the door on silence.
The bind that is keeping us from shouting, our voices will break and we will be victorious.
On the other side, there is acceptance, power, understanding.
Loud-mouthed women we will be.
Close-minded people, let them be.
Open another door.
We close the door and open ourselves up to new opportunities. We close the door on intolerance and shame.
We will close the door on shame.
We will not be ashamed. We will make our words soar, and we will be known by our brave, courageous actions.
Actions that will shape our futures and the futures of other women.
Our voices boom like the thunder and wind.
We are a hurricane.
We are power.
We are change.
We are acceptance.
We are hope. We are fire.
We're sisters.
We are the future.
Girl Project 2014 is coming in August with a whole new group of girls, so you better be ready.